Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into something that's really making waves right now. Grok 4. It's the latest language model from Elon Musk's XAI, and, well, there's a lot of noise around it.
There certainly is.
So we're using an article called 10 Things to Know About Grok 4 as our guide today. It tries to cut through that hype.
Yeah, give us a clearer picture.
Exactly. Our mission here is really to unpack what Grok 4 is, what it can supposedly do, where it falls short, the cost, even some weird quirks, so you can walk away feeling pretty well informed.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, first off, the thing that grabbed all the headlines, this huge claim
Right.
that Grok 4 might just be the smartest AI model out there, at least based on some tests.
Some tests being the key phrase there.
Yeah, apparently it beat OpenAI's Best, Google's Gemini, Anthropic's Claude, and things like high school math, Google's Proof QA, some coding stuff.
Impressive sounding benchmarks for sure.
And then Musk himself said, pretty bluntly, that Grok 4 is smarter than almost all graduate students in all disciplines. I mean, wow. How do we even start processing a claim like that?
Well, okay, that's a massive statement, and it's crucial to pump the brakes a little.
Right.
Despite how good it sounds, remember, fundamentally, Grok 4 is still a language model.
Meaning?
Meaning it can make stuff up. It hallucinates.
Yeah.
Just like all the others. We've seen this movie before with other big AI claims, like for DeepMind's Gemini too sometimes. They can get exaggerated.
Okay, fair enough.
And Musk himself actually walked that statement back a bit later.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he clarified it was specifically about how it performed on, like, academic multiple choice tests, not necessarily, real-world problem solving or common sense.
Ah, okay, that adds important context.
Definitely. And it leads right into this whole issue of, benchmark skepticism. The article points this out too. Well, for starters, how the results are shown. You can manipulate graphs, right? Like, not starting the y-axis at 0 makes differences look way bigger than they are.
Ah, the classic graph chart.
Exactly. And then there's cherry picking. Maybe they don't show the benchmarks where Grok 4 didn't win. Like, apparently there's a coding test where Gemini actually does better.
So selective recording.
Could be. And maybe the biggest issue for some of these common benchmarks, the answers are often just floating around online.
Wait, really? So the AI might have just seen the answers during training.
It's a real possibility.
Yeah.
It definitely weakens the argument that these tests measure true novel intelligence. It makes you wonder, how much is real progress and how much is just good test taking or even marketing.
That's a really critical point. It's hard to compare fairly if the playing field isn't level or if we only see part of it. Okay, but despite the skepticism, let's dig into some specific tests mentioned.
Sure.
One that got a lot of buzz was this ARK-AGI-2 benchmark. The article calls it a semi-private test for measuring, fluid intelligence.
That's right, fluid intelligence. Basically, the ability to spot hidden patterns. It's considered a deeper kind of smarts.
And Grok 4 did well on this.
Apparently, remarkably well. And because fluid intelligence is seen as more fundamental than just spitting back facts, performing well there really did add some weight to the claims. It got people talking online, definitely.
Okay, interesting. And then the creator made their own benchmark, something called Simple Bench.
Yeah, designed to test things like social reasoning, logic, spatial awareness, kind of different angles.
And the surprising thing there was Grok 4 was the first model to avoid some kind of logic trap, a trick question. It made it feel smart.
It did feel smart on that specific puzzle, yes. That was the feedback. But the article immediately gives you the other side of the coin.
Which is?
Despite acing that logic trap, it apparently still fails at really basic spatial logic. The example they used was, like, predicting where a glove would fall if it slid off a moving car.
Oh, right. That seems pretty fundamental.
It does. And on top of that, it's reportedly slow to respond, which, really affects how useful it can be in real time. So maybe feels smart sometimes, but not quite practical genius yet.
Slow response times are definitely a usability killer. Okay, what about this other test? Humanities Last Exam. Sounds dramatic.
Yeah, it does. It's apparently packed with really obscure factual knowledge.
And Grok 4 did well, over 50%. Better than others.
That's what the article says. But again, we need to unpack what that really means.
Okay.
Excelling there points more to incredibly wide training data coverage than necessarily deep intelligence. Like, doesn't know obscure bird anatomy, Probably because it ingested a textbook or website about it.
So it proves it read a lot of stuff.
Exactly. It shows it has access to a vast library of information, which is useful.
Yeah.
But it doesn't automatically mean it can reason or synthesize new ideas beyond that data in, like, truly novel ways. It's more about retrieval.
Okay, that distinction makes sense. So let's get under the hood a bit. This name, Grok 4 Heavy, it sounds substantial. What actually is it?
Yeah, heavy is interesting. It's not just one single giant model. Musk described it as a multi-agent model.
Multi-agent, what does that mean in practice?
Well, instead of one AI mind tackling a problem,
Yeah.
you have several Grok agents working on it at the same time, in parallel.
Okay.
They each look at the problem, share what they find, kind of discuss it internally, and refine the answer together, almost like a highly efficient study group.
A study group of AIs.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they use the best line of reasoning they collectively came up with for the final output. It's actually, it's very similar to an experiment people were talking about maybe 18 months ago called Smart GPT. Same core idea, and that also seemed impressive early on.
Huh, interesting. So leveraging multiple perspectives. And how does Grok 4 do across different types of tasks? The article mentions its text performance is elite.
Right. Text seems to be its strong suit, which makes sense given it's primarily a language model. But the flip side seems to be its visual capabilities. The source suggests it's actually pretty weak on visual tasks, problems interpreting images.
Really? That seems like a big limitation these days.
It is. Think about fields like, say, archaeology, trying to analyze artifacts from photos, or even just visual search online. If it can't reliably understand images, its usefulness in those areas is, well, limited. Even with that multi-agent setup, visual processing seems like a bottleneck.
Okay, so elite text, but struggles with pictures. Good to know. Let's shift gears to something very practical. The cost. What's the damage to the wallet here?
Yes, the price tag. Super Grok Heavy, as they call it, is reportedly $3,000 a year, or you can make $300 a month.
Oof, that's steep, especially compared to other options out there.
Exactly. That's the crucial context. You look at competitors like Gemini Pro is around $20 a month, and it already includes things like video generation.
Right, much cheaper.
So unless you have a very specific need for that absolute top-tier, benchmark-crushing performance that Grok 4 Heavy might offer, the value proposition right now, it's questionable for a lot of users. Definitely a premium price.
And it's not just pricey for users. The article mentions the cost for XAI itself is astronomical.
Oh, yeah.
Reportedly burning through $1 billion per month. And planning a massive power plant just for GPUs. That's wild.
It really puts the scale of this AI arms race into perspective, doesn't it? Catching up to OpenAI and Google so quickly, performance-wise, has clearly come at a huge environmental and financial cost, as the article puts it. It's an incredibly expensive game to play at this level.
Mind-boggling numbers. Okay, before we wrap up, let's touch on those quirks you mentioned earlier. Personality traits, almost.
Right, the behavioral stuff.
The source reminded us about Grok 3 having these weird moments, like suddenly praising Elon Musk or getting fixated on South Africa. What's the potential for Grok 4 to have similar eccentricities?
Well, the reported reason for those Grok 3 quirks was apparently a line in its system prompt, those initial instructions the AI gets.
Okay.
It supposedly encouraged politically incorrect honesty. So the big question is, does Grok 4 have a similar instruction, or was it trained on data that might lead to similar, let's say, unpredictable outputs? It's possible.
And what about the training data itself, like from Twitter X?
That's another significant concern raised. Relying heavily on Twitter data means it might absorb, well, all the stuff that comes with that platform. Bot noise, clickbait, maybe even spam patterns could potentially skew its answers or affect its tone. It's something users would need to be aware of.
Right, the garbage in, garbage out principle potentially amplified. Okay, so let's try and tie this all together. We've covered a lot.
We have.
Grok 4. Impressive on some key benchmarks, uses this interesting multi-agent study group approach.
Right.
But it comes with a hefty price tag, seems weak on visual tasks, and might have some inherited weirdness from its training or instructions.
That sums it up pretty well. And the core takeaway from the source article, I think, is quite insightful.
What's that?
It's that while Grok 4 isn't inventing new science, it's not general intelligence yet, it is dramatically lowering the barrier for people to do complex things, like coding or digging through data.
So it's an empowerment tool.
Potentially, yes. It could enable individuals to push boundaries and explore ideas much faster than they could before, even if the AI itself isn't making the breakthroughs on its own.
And as the article notes, Elon Musk quipped, whether it's ultimately good or bad for humanity, he wants to be alive to see it happen.
A characteristic sentiment.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Considering Grok 4's supposed strengths in that fluid intelligence, spotting hidden patterns, and its huge knowledge base, what are the most exciting or maybe even the most concerning new uses for AI that lean on those specific abilities? How might that change how you interact with technology day to day in the next few years?